welcome to this episode of the Lehigh Valley with Love podcast. I'm your host, George Wacker, and before we get into it, we're talking about an awesome concert that's coming up. Before we get into that, I want to make sure that we give a shout out to our sponsors, including Made Possible in the Lehigh Valley. The Lehigh Valley, as I'm sure many of you know, is rich with possibilities, a proud heritage, and a bright future that has long attracted makers, innovators, and those with great vision. Everything you need to create the life you want on your terms. There's vibrant downtowns, charming main streets with surprises around every corner, and lots of open spaces to enjoy and to explore. We encourage you to check out LehighValleyMadePossible.com, which is what you're looking at here. A lot of great resources and information and videos and all that sort of stuff. We also want to thank Molly's Irish Grill and Sports Pub, ArtsQuest, and of course, Michael Bernardin with Remax Find Mike. But we're here today to talk about Sights for Hope and their upcoming concert. And we're joined by Dennis Zehner, the Sights for Hope CEO, who's been the CEO and executive director since July 1st, 2020. And previous to that, you were the director of advancement from 2018 to 2020. And in your time as executive director, you've led efforts to change the agency's name, which we will talk about, to Sights to Hope, and also to implement a brand focused and empowerment to implement a brand focused on empowerment and independence. Dennis, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having us. It's a pleasure.
The last time I was speaking with Sights for Hope, you guys were undergoing the name change. How has that been? I know it's been really exciting for you. Clearly during COVID was a crazy time, but you guys implemented some brand changes. Your awareness is out there. How has that whole transition been?
Sure. We changed our name to Sights for Hope in April of 2021. And it was a time as we were starting to, as I think the worst of, very, very worst of COVID was beginning to dissipate. The response has been great. We've been able to connect with new people in the community, and more importantly, tell a more accurate story about what we do. In the past 12 months, our client base has actually gone up 9%. And I think part of that has to do with the promotion we've done with the new branding and people having a greater understanding about what we do.
And let's talk about that, because I know that I'm not going to say always, but it's for any organization, it's important to make sure that people understand, what you're about. And one of the things for that was the name change to put more focus on it. Can you talk about, if you're talking to somebody who's never had any relationship with Sights for Hope, maybe never heard about it, what do you do? What services do you provide?
What Sights for Hope does is we transform lives of people with visual impairments. We transform their lives by removing the barriers to independence and self-sufficiency. We are not as much about the remediation of vision or sight. It's more about how the quality of life you lead. And it's about empowerment, and it's about understanding that life can be a wonderful, wonderful experience, even when something like this happens to you. That our services are about building independence and self-sufficiency.
Right, and it's it's something that I guess some of us don't think about. We're maybe not going through something like that, or maybe not having a traumatic injury that has now changed the way that we have to go about the world. That's what Sights for Hope does, and it's not just that. It's also people who were born with visual impairments, and also for those who may develop them from whatever fashion as well.
Correct. Most of our clients actually develop a visual impairment later in life, sometimes through a stroke or diabetic retinopathy or macular degeneration, which tends to happen with older adults. About 65% of our clients are over the age of 65 and older. But also through our screenings, we also, the other part of our business and part of what we do is we do free vision screenings for preschool children, ages 0 to 6, because we believe in making sure that they're ready to learn in kindergarten.
Right, and that's obviously super important. And I would imagine that you might, I don't know, I could see an older person maybe saying, hey, this is just part of getting older and there's nothing I can do about it. But, what you had just said, you're really trying to work with the individual to say, hey, there's still all these things that you can do, and we're just going to help you with some of the resources.
Absolutely. And part of what we did when we worked with our branding is we decided to adopt person-first language. We say that we work with people who have visual impairments, not visually impaired people. It's about the human being. It's about the quality of life. And everybody is different. When someone experiences something like this, it's often akin to, they sometimes have to go, it's sometimes an emotional experience. Sometimes people go through it like they go through the stages of grief. We always say here that we are also in the mental health business because it is about your outlook. It is about your attitude. And it's about adjusting to something that happened in your life. But we find that when you have the right attitude and you then pair it with our life skills education classes, the technologies that are really awesome and inspiring, and our support services, quality of life can skyrocket and can be just as rich and full as it was before a visual impairment came into someone's life.
I can imagine too having that support network, knowing it's for anything, to have people who are going through something similar or people on your end who understand what they're going through. That support alone has to be
It is extremely
valuable.
it is extremely invaluable. In fact, when COVID hit originally, as we did, as almost every organization did, we pivoted to do as many activities as we could in a virtual manner. Our clients were champing at the bit to come back together because in some cases, this is their family. These are the only people they know. These are the people that are closest and most important to them in the world. Because, as you just said, they're going through the exact same thing that they're going through, and that support system is phenomenally important to our clients, and providing a place where they don't feel alone, and they see people just like them who end up having a rich and full life and know that they can do it too. That is incredibly important. And isolation, of course, is something we fight. We fight in general with the older population, but something like this with a visual impairment can be very isolating. And like you said, it is about the mental health. It's about the attitude. It's about the approach. We find half the battle is that helping someone take the right approach to what has happened to them, and then go on with the tools that we can provide.
I would imagine too, we're talking about age, do you find that you have some children of an older adults that say, hey, this is a resource, mom and dad, maybe you didn't know about? I would imagine fun of.
Yes, indeed. We get a lot of our clients through actually referrals through doctors and government agencies. But yes, we have found people who, like you said, maybe an adult child of an older adult, and understand and explaining to them that this is not just, oh, I'm getting older. When you get to the point where you can avail yourself of our services, and often we also find that our clients also are great ambassadors, and we know clients who have come here and finally decided to come here because they knew a client who did come here and understood the richness of the experience. That peer interaction and peer support is so incredibly important.
Yeah, I would imagine like the community, working, if you're working alongside people who are having those same challenges, I can just imagine like the camaraderie and community that comes with that. Because you do, well, we're going to talk about the concert event, but you have other, I don't know if I'd call them events as much as services where people are coming in on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely. We do what we say. We provide the skill supports and solutions that increase self-sufficiency. So the skills are our life skills programs. We do a series of group and individual life skills programs, especially about technologies. But some are as basic as how do you cook again? How do you play music again? We do some of the things such as Braille reading, of course. But it's all about getting back to the quality of life that you wanted and the quality of life you understood. So skills are a huge part of what we do. Supports, one of our biggest services is our guided transport service, which is incredibly valuable because what we're doing is we're actually increasing access to medical care, food. We're helping people access healthy food through grocery store visits. Also, getting to our services. Our services are great, but of course, they're most effective when someone gets there. And,
of course, right.
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's most important just to get there. Sometimes, but again, we're helping people get to medical appointments that improve their quality of life. We have caseworkers who are very close with our clients and guide them through the services that are best for them. We also do support groups, like you said. The peers are very important. A growing part of our business and what we're looking to do, especially in the next 7 to 8 years, is talk about the exploding quality of the technologies and assistive technologies that are out there. These are devices that can literally transform lives. They're not always the most accessible in terms of financials, but they are incredibly impactful in people's lives. And in the next 7-8 years, we're actually going to be looking to get as many people with visual impairments that sort of incredible technologies that are out there, some of these wearable technologies out there that can impact someone's life. We had a client recently who tried on one of our wearable technologies and broke down in tears because the first time in years she saw her husband's face again.
Really? And what type of device was that?
This is a wearable device that can, we have a variety of wearable devices. Some can actually help what the person can see, or help take advantage of what the person can see, because very few of our people are completely blind. They have some vision. Right. Some of them act as enlargers, magnifiers. Some of these devices actually take what's in front of you, takes a picture, and then turns it into almost a virtual reality image right up on your arm, easier to see. And then some are more functional, such as devices which can help you remember names. It's something you clip to your glasses, and it has that intelligence about it. So if I came up to you and I already programmed it that said, "This is George," it'll tell me that George is coming up to me. And so I'll remember, "Hey, George, how you doing?" I joke sometimes I want this myself to help remember names. But it also, you in a supermarket, it can help read instructions and really get you independent and working independently in a way that other skills may not always be able to.
I mean, that stuff that's got to be so interesting for you. I'm sure in your industry, you're either monitoring some of that tech, or you're being notified of it when things like that come out. It's got to be really exciting to kind of see.
It is.
What
it is, and it is. We're going to be announcing in the coming months. We have a new initiative for the year 2030 of certain goals we want to meet. One of the biggest and most exciting is that we want to help get 2,500 people in our 3-county area who have a visual impairment assistive devices that can transform their lives. Now, we figure that by data we know that we figure there are about 17,000 such people in our 3-county area. But we're going to start by getting 2,500 of them these devices, because we know how awesome they are and how transformative they are. We are serious when we say we want to transform lives, and nothing's more transformative than these devices in many ways.
And two, I mean, it's that older population who, I mean, I'm just talking, but they might not be as technologically savvy, or they might not be those people like myself who's like, I love all the gadgets, I might be aware of it. They might not be aware of those things. And clearly that's where you can kind of come in and not only help them with it, but maybe help with financing or even help with showing them how to operate it.
Oh, absolutely. Our tech skills education is huge. I say that's been the great equalizer. I know people who live in the population, and they say that this is the best possible time to live with a visual impairment because of the technology that's out there, the promise that wasn't there 20 years ago. This is life-changing stuff that really is important now. Some devices are more simple. They're sometimes handheld magnifiers. Right. Like you said, some older folks may not be as tech savvy, but as we continue to evolve, it's a bigger part of the population. And also, it's not as much teaching them how to use it, but that they can use it and understand that they can do this. And something we're going to be looking for big community support for over the next next 8 years is helping to provide these devices. About 85% of our clients actually are of low income households. And some of these devices, if you go to the top end, can be thousands of dollars. But it's something sometimes you can't put a price on someone's independence and someone's destiny. And we're about giving people back their destiny in the lives.
Right. I mean, you're like, that's the theme. I feel like you keep not going back to you, but just the theme of when you speak is about having that individual independence. Like, yeah, we're here to help so that you can go and be independent, outside of.
Right. That's why when we chose our slogan with our new name, we chose Seize Independence Now. And that's what we want our clients to do. And our clients do that. They seize back many times as they're seizing back their independence, because they may have lived as a typical adult life and had a career and then developed this later in life, but they're seizing back their independence.
Right. And now let's talk about what we came here to talk about. The upcoming Sights for Hope, Songs for Sight, clearly by Sights for Hope, the Bruce Show, an electrifying tribute to Bruce Springsteen at my favorite place, everybody's favorite place, the Levitt Lawn in Steel Stack.
It is a great show. Yes.
Talk to us about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Songs for Sight is our annual concert event. We chose to do a concert event 3 years ago because of course, music is something people can experience regardless of their visual acumen or their visual acuity. And it's a great equalizer in that sense. And we teamed up 2 years ago with ArtsQuest to produce these concerts. And this year's concert is June 14th, Tuesday, June 14th at 7 o'clock, like you said, outside the Levitt Pavilion at Steel Stacks. And our table seats are beginning to selling very quickly now, and there are less remaining. But there are a lot of great general admission seats on the lawn, and we encourage people to go to sightsforhope.org and order tickets today, or you can order it directly through the ArtsQuest site.
And I mean, I don't know how involved you are in the booking of the bands, but these guys are. I was going through watching some. They're amazing. If you like Bruce Springsteen, you're not going to get much closer than
absolutely not. And I actually am a Bruce Springsteen fan. I'm a child of the '80s, so the children of the '80s. Yes, last year we had actually a Beatles tribute show that I thought was great. Okay. But I was very impressed with what this program, and this is called the Bruce Show for the sake of the viewers. It's a tribute to Bruce Springsteen, and like you said, it captures the energy, captures the attitude. I think the swagger you'll get of a Springsteen show. They put on a great show. This band is probably one of the most beloved, I would say, Springsteen tribute acts in the world. It's called the Mighty Spectrum Band, but again, the show is called the Bruce Show. They are big in the Hamptons. They're big all up and down.
Yeah, we're looking at, for those listening, you can't see it, but I brought up their schedule. I mean, they're all over the place.
They are
this summer and stopping here. So they
are stopping here. They have a lot of energy, a lot of great show. And again, it's like you said, tickets start as little as $15. There are tables that can be bought for higher prices, but those are now going very quickly. But we hope to have a big audience because every ticket, every dollar, every ticket does support Sites for Hope.
Which is important to know. Like on your, all proceeds are going.
And we want to thank ArtsQuest. Yes,
absolutely. Is that for this? Is this kind of your big? I don't know, like your big bash for everybody. And
this is our signature public event in which we've done it. Again, we started in 2019. Then we couldn't do one in 2020 because of COVID. Then we also decided to partner with ArtsQuest, and they've been great partners with this. And Provident Bank, who's our presenting sponsor, also has been a huge help with this. And they're great supporters of what we do. And we're very excited about the show. We hope to get a great audience. It is rain or shine. And the energy is going to be there. We're also going to have a lot of our clients there who are going to be great ambassadors and talking about the impact that our services have on their lives.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not saying it'd be like a formal time if you're interested in it, but it'd be an opportunity if you would like to learn more informally, maybe, or get some literature during the show.
Absolutely,
there'll definitely be people who will talk to you.
Our clients will be there. In fact, something new our clients actually did this past year is they formed Lions clubs. Our clients in Lehigh Valley actually formed their own Lions Club, and their clients in Monroe County actually formed their own Lions Club. And it's a great chance for them to give back to the community, and they're going to be there talking about what we do and the impact we have on their lives and why it is so important to support what we do every day, and also support our vision screenings for our pre-kindergarten children, which is an important part of what we do to improve kindergarten readiness.
Right. My daughter will be getting one of those. I'm assuming right before she goes in, whenever they get ready. So we're getting excited for her to go in, and that'll be a part of it. So thank you for that.
Absolutely, and just want to point out to your audience, this is a bigger issue. In the past year, we've been seeing more and more kids actually failing these screenings, and there are doctors out there on a national and international level believe it could have something to do with the increased screen time during COVID.
Really?
We used to have an 11% failure rate. Now we're up to about 15, and these are kids again ages 0 to 6. And sometimes conditions they have to be caught then. And if you don't catch them then, they may end up becoming completely blind. But regardless, this is about being ready for school and being able to learn successfully.
Right. And that's a discussion, I guess, for another day. But yeah, I mean, we've been parents who are, especially during that time period. I don't think you can really fault parents for having them. But we need, the more information we have, the better that we can, make good decisions on screen time and that sort of stuff. Right,
exactly. Or just, again, there's a very scary statistic that 85% of preschool children, pre-kindergarten children don't get a professional eye exam at all. And you think about the exams that parents and vaccinations that parents work with for their children. This is one that's often forgotten, or they think working with the family physician is good enough, and sometimes that's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, not weird, but when your child says to you something about their vision, it's not. I don't say it's a helpless thing. You go to your professional, but it's definitely something that's worrisome when they talk about their eyesight, because again, you can see like how much it has an effect on your life and your ability to interact. But that's thankfully why we have Sights for Hope. And I do want to mention, you mentioned Monroe County. It is Lehigh, Northampton, and Monroe, so it is the Tri-County area as well.
Right, we serve those 3 counties, and again through our different services, we usually work with about 10 to 11,000 people in a typical year. And again, our actual client base of actual people with visual impairments is a smaller number, but it's grown by 9% in the past year, and we're looking to grow continuously.
And I would think, like, would that number be too just the kind of a result of your awareness campaign? You're reaching people who didn't know or maybe weren't aware of some of those services too.
Sure, because when we did our rebrand, we actually did the largest promotional campaign in the history of this organization, and word did get out in a way, and more people do know who we are, and people started calling us. We knew immediately that it was having an impact within the very first month of the name change. That people were saying, "Hey, I've seen your billboards. Hey, I've heard about you through whatever promotional vehicles we were using at the time." And an event like Songs4Sight is actually great, again, to bring the message home to people who may not always be in our universe to talk to about what we do and why it's so important.
Right. And you guys are bringing in a fantastic band.
Absolutely, yes.
It's all over. It's the event itself is so great for what it's doing for the organization and the awareness, but it's also going to be a great show. Like, let's be honest,
it's going to be an awesome show. I personally can't wait. I think it's going to be great and energetic. People who look at the video, and if you go to our website and you go to our page, you see the video. Like you said, they are legitimate. They are powerful, and it's going to be an awesome night. Last year, the weather was very nice. We hope for another great weather show, a wet weather evening. But again, it's a great cause and a great night of entertainment for a very affordable price. Again, starting at $15. And I was at last year's concert. There was not a bad seat in the house.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can play. And again, I would look at, when you look at anything like this, I always your $15 ticket is your donation, to Sights for Hope, and that's great. You get to donate and also see a show.
Absolutely, and there'll be other chances, of course, to provide support like that. But right, it's an absolute win-win. It's a great show for a great cause, and to do that is a great opportunity. And we just encourage people to continue to go on and buy tickets. As I said, the table tickets are beginning to fill pretty nicely, but there are a lot of great lawn seats. And again, there's not a bad seat in the house, even at the $15 ticket level.
Dennis, but before I let you go, I know this is your big event. This is your big event for the year, and as we're scrolling on the website, you do see other events, which are more kind of your day-to-day operation type events. But
right,
so for people who want to know more, or just are like, hey, I'm not sure, but I want to get some more information, is the best thing to do head to sightsforhope.org. And
sightsforhope.org is a great. You can we have a URL as well of Songs4Sight, songs the number 4 site.com, which takes you to our Sights for Hope, our Songs4Sight page. Also tells you a little about the organization, but sightsforhope.org is a great way to get information about what we do and how we transform lives every day. We say we're in the transforming lives business, and we're about making the great human experience better for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, over the last couple of years, being much more aware of what you guys do and the important things that you do for not only the Lehigh Valley, but Monroe County as well, is fantastic. And then just to do it in such a fun way where, you're learning, you're benefiting, but come on, we're also all getting together and having a great time. And it's perfect.
It's a great show. Again, I was at last year. It was a wonderful evening. And this is going to be a great show. And again, I encourage everyone. I've already bought my table. Hopefully, George, we'll see you there as well.
Yeah.
But we're looking for a great turnout and a great way to raise funds for a great mission. out there.
Okay.
That we're doing, and also, if you can't make it to the actual concert due to something in your schedule, I would just encourage people to look and make a donation to Sites for Hope from our website, sitesforhope.org. Every dollar is a great opportunity to transform a life.
And I know there are people who, they make donations throughout the year, and if Sites for Hope is maybe not on your radar, maybe it's time to consider them as a great local organization that's giving back directly to the people in our communities who need that help. I don't know of any better organization that does it so much, just so feet on the street. We're affecting our neighbors, and that's fantastic.
Absolutely, because one thing we've made a very conscious decision about, George, and as we've unveiling our new strategic plan, we decided that what we wanted to do most is truly impact lives in the most profound way.
Right.
Not necessarily to put up the largest numbers of activities, but to really that's what we're here to do. We're here to impact lives in a real way and transform. When we created our new vision statement, we put that term in there on purpose. We are about transforming lives in a very profound way, and we're very proud of what we're able to do as our organization. And as we continue to grow, we hope to transform even more lives. And
you guys should be. You really should be. So, Dennis, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for putting on a show. I'm excited for summer to get officially started, and this is going to be a part of it. So we're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And, it's a great show. Come on out. Songs for Sight, presented by Provident. It's, again, Tuesday, June 14th. The gates open at 6. The show starts at 7. And, again, tickets are as less as $15. Yep. And songs4sight.com or sitesforhope.org or the ArtsQuest website can get you there.
And if you're listening, you can just go into our show notes. We have the link in there to purchase right there. And, we hope to see everybody there. Dennis, thank you again so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, George.